Sports City, ladies and gentlemen. I'm back here with my dad today. Let's get into our college football and NFL predictions for the weekend. First game out tomorrow night, Ole Miss and Mississippi State. Give me Ole Miss on the road. I think Ole Miss is a better team, and I think they'll find a way.
This is called the Egg Bowl, isn't it?
Yep.
Strange name for a bowl, but tough game. I think Mississippi State plays good teams well, but I think Ole Miss is just too talented. I like Ole Miss as well.
Next up, Boise State and San Diego State in San Diego this weekend. Give me San Diego State. I think they're a better team than Boise State is right now, so give me San Diego State over Boise.
I think I'm going to go against the grain here and pick Boise State on the road. I think Boise State's played a tougher schedule. I think that's going to show in this game. Boise State in a close one.
Next up, Iowa and Nebraska on the Big Ten Network. Give me Iowa on the road. I think Iowa's a better team, so give me Iowa over Nebraska.
So Nebraska plays good teams pretty close, but they tend to lose at the end, and I think unfortunately for Nebraska, that's going to happen again. Another close one, field goal game. Iowa wins the game.
Next up, Cincinnati and East Carolina. I would love to see East Carolina pull off the upset here, but I don't think it's going to happen. Give me Cincinnati, I guess, to keep their very fluky college football playoff hopes alive with a win over East Carolina.
Unlike Scott, I don't think it's fluky. They beat Notre Dame on the road. Cincinnati played Georgia to a close game last year. I think Cincinnati will come down a little bit from last week, but I still think they'll beat East Carolina by at least 2 touchdowns.
Next up, Missouri and Arkansas. Give me Arkansas at home. I think Arkansas is a better team than Missouri, so give me Arkansas at home.
Yeah, the SEC West is much better than the SEC East this year. I think Arkansas will beat Missouri by at least 10 points.
Next up, Colorado and Utah. Utah coming off a huge win last week over Oregon. I'm going to take Utah in this game. I think it's going to be a slow start for Utah this week at home, but I think they'll find a way to get it going late. I'll take Utah at home over Colorado.
This is the traditional trap game or the letdown game. I could see Utah losing this one if it's on the road, but since it's at home, I think their home fans will build them up and they'll get the win.
Next up, NC State and North Carolina. Give me NC State. I think NC State's getting ready for the ACC championship game next week. So give me NC State at home over North Carolina.
A lot of really good games this weekend, a lot of close tilts. I think this one's going to be one of them that gets you a high-scoring game, but NC State's got a little better defense. I'll take NC State as well.
Next up, Georgia and Georgia Tech. Give me Georgia in this game. I think Georgia is much better. Give me Georgia in this game.
Speaking of close games, Georgia's going to blow out Georgia Tech. I mean, Georgia Tech lost to Notre Dame by like 50 points. This will be a blowout. Give me Georgia by like 70.
Next up, Ohio State and Michigan. Give me Ohio State, I guess, in this game. I think that's the only way to keep Cincinnati out of the playoffs. So give me Ohio State over Michigan.
Unfortunately for Michigan, I think they're going to have a heartbreak again. They're going to get close to at the end, and Ohio State right now is playing their best football. I think Ohio State gets the win, even though it's on the road.
Next up, Texas Tech and Baylor. Give me Baylor at home. I think Baylor's getting ready for the Big 12 championship game. They got to take care of their business at home first, and then they got to hope for some help later on in the night. So I'll take Baylor to get a win here. Take care of their business at home over Texas Tech.
I agree. Baylor's one of the surprise teams of the year. I think Baylor continues to roll.
Next up, Wake Forest and Boston College. Wake Forest just needs to win here to get into the ACC championship game, and I think they'll do just that. They choked away their chance last week. I don't think they do it again this week. Give me Wake Forest on the road against Boston College.
I'm going to pick the upset here. I think Boston College is going to get the win. They almost beat Florida State last week. I think Wake Forest is kind of on a downward trajectory. Give me Boston College in this one.
Next up, Houston and UConn. Give me Houston to get ready for Cincinnati next week and a potential bye week for them. Give me Houston over UConn.
UConn may be the worst team in Division 1A, so I think Houston's going to win big.
Next up, UTSA coming off that good win last week. Facing North Texas. Give me UTSA at home. I think they came off a very close win last week, but I think they'll get back on track this week. Give me UTSA at home over North Texas.
Give me Texas San Antonio as well. I think they're going to continue their unbeaten streak alive.
Next up, Alabama and Auburn. Give me Alabama on the road. One of my buddies was telling me they've never beaten a ranked Auburn team at Jordan-Hare, but unfortunately Auburn's not ranked this year, so give me Alabama on the road to get this win in a blowout against Auburn.
I don't think it's going to be a blowout. I think it's going to be a very tight affair, but I think Alabama will probably get the win. Auburn has played good teams tough this year. I think Alabama will get a close win.
Next up, Oregon State and Oregon. Give me Oregon in this game. I think Oregon's going to bounce back after that really bad loss last week. Give me Oregon at home over Oregon State.
I agree. If this one was on the road, I might have some concern for Oregon, since it's a bit of a letdown after last week. But I think Oregon wins as well.
All right, next up, Penn State, Michigan State. Give me Michigan State at home. Again, huge loss last week. Give me Michigan State and Kenneth Walker at home over Penn State.
I don't think Penn State's that good. I think Michigan State really had a poor showing last week. I think they'll be very motivated to show that they're not a fluke. I think Michigan State also beats Penn State.
Next up, Wisconsin and Minnesota. Give me Wisconsin. I think Wisconsin punches their ticket to the Big Ten championship game this week. Give me Wisconsin on the road against Minnesota.
After a slow start, Wisconsin's won 7 or 8 in a row.
Yeah.
So Wisconsin's definitely the hot team. I like Wisconsin in this one as well.
Next up, Texas A&M and LSU. Give me Texas A&M in this game. I think Texas A&M is probably the second best team in the SEC West this year. So give me Texas A&M on the road against LSU.
LSU's a really up and down team. They can be really good teams and they can lose to bad teams. But I think Texas A&M is more consistent. So I also like the Aggies.
Next up, Oklahoma and Oklahoma State. Give me Oklahoma State in this game. I think Oklahoma State needs this win, and I think they get the win here. I'll say by 2 touchdowns. Oklahoma State beats Oklahoma.
My apologies to the Oklahoma State fans I have in my family. I'm going to go with Sooners here. I think the Sooners are going to play more loose. Oklahoma State's going to play fairly tight because they've got more to play for. I think the Sooners get the win here.
All he's trying to do is just get Cincinnati into the playoff. That's all he's trying to do.
My picks here have no impact on whether Cincinnati will get it or not.
Next up, Pitt and Syracuse. Give me Pitt in this game. I think Pitt's a much better team. Give me Pitt on the road against Syracuse.
Other than the one stinker they put against Miami, Pitt's been pretty consistent. I also like Pitt in this one.
Next up, Clemson in South Carolina. Give me Clemson. I don't think they made the ACC championship game with Wake Forest winning earlier in the day. So I'll take Clemson on the road against South Carolina.
I think this will be a close game. I think Clemson is definitely down this year, but they're starting to play better. I also like Clemson on the road.
Next up, Notre Dame and Stanford. Notre Dame's last chance to impress the committee before they hopefully get into the college football playoff. I'll take Notre Dame over Stanford. Big.
I don't know if they'll be big. Stanford did surprise Oregon, but I think Notre Dame will be ready for them. I also like Notre Dame in this one.
Next up, BYU and USC. Give me BYU in this game. I think BYU is probably a team that's just looking for Cincinnati to lose so they can get into the New Year's Six. So I'll take BYU on the road against SC.
I'm going to pick the upset here and pick USC at home. I think BYU's played a pretty soft schedule. I like USC in this one.
Next up, Kentucky and Louisville are 2 top 25 games of the week. Give me Kentucky in this game. I think Kentucky's been looking very good this year. Give me Kentucky over Louisville.
There's a man who lives here locally. His name is Terry Jewell. Biggest Kentucky fan I know. It could be a close game, but I think his passion, his love for the Wildcats is going to push him over. Give me the Wildcats in this one.
Now, finally, the war on I-4 Friday night. Really should be cold on Friday for us. Senior night, I don't think UCF's going to lose this game. Give me UCF to get a win here over USF in hopefully a blowout, but I don't know. We'll see.
The way UCF's played this year, I don't know that they're going to blow out USF, but I do think they'll win. But I think it'll be like a 7 to 10 point kind of game.
Now into the NFL games. We'll start off with 3 tomorrow on Thanksgiving. First game out. Thank goodness nobody's going to get anybody's houses yet because this game will put people to sleep. It'll be the Bears and the Lions. Why do you keep doing this to us, NFL? Stop putting the Lions on Thanksgiving. Give me the Bears, I guess, on the road against the Lions.
I'm actually going to pick the upset here. I think the Lions are finally going to get a win. They played a lot of close games. I think this is one they're going to actually get a win on.
Next up, the Raiders heading into Dallas to take on the Cowboys. Cowboys have lost the last 2 games, the last 2 years on Thanksgiving. I think they end that streak here. Give me the Cowboys at home over the Raiders.
I agree. I think the Cowboys are a superior team to the Raiders. The Raiders have not been playing well of late. I also like the Cowboys.
Next up, the Bills and the Saints. Give me Josh Allen and the Bills to play much better than they did last week. Last week was an embarrassment for them last week. I'll take Josh Allen and the Bills to win this game over the Saints.
It's a tough one to pick because the Saints and the Bills have both been up and down, up and down, up and down. But at the end of the day, I think the Bills are more talented. I also agree with Scott. The Bills get the win.
Next up, Bucs and Colts Sunday afternoon, 1:00 game. Give me the Bucs. I think Tom Brady knows how to beat the Colts, and I think he'll do just that one more time this week. Give me the Bucs on the road against the Colts.
This may be our toughest game remaining on our schedule because the Colts are playing so well right now. With that said, I think we got some of our mojo back last week. I think we win, but it's a really close game. It could be a Brady drive at the end in a field goal kind of game.
Next up, Steelers and Bengals. Give me Joe Burrow and the Bengals at home. I think the Bengals are a better team, and they're at home, so I'll take the Bengals over the Steelers.
Terry Jewell, I've got to apologize to you for this one. I also think the Bengals are going to win. Big Ben and the Steelers just lost a heartbreaker, and I do like the Bengals in this one. So, Terry Jewell, I picked your Kentucky team, but unfortunately I got to take the Bengals here. My apologies.
Next up, Panthers and Dolphins in Miami. I think Cam will get it done this week. Give me the Panthers on the road against the Dolphins.
I agree. Cam Newton is a resurrected quarterback, looking pretty good, and I think the Panthers are just a better team than the Dolphins. I like the Panthers.
Next up, the Tennessee Titans heading into Gillette to take on the Patriots. Give me the Titans to get back on track here. I think the Titans got a huge wake-up call last week after losing to the Texans. So give me the Titans on the road against the Pats.
I don't think so. I think the Pats are for real right now. Their defense is playing lights out. I think the Patriots win this one by at least a touchdown.
Next up, Eagles and Giants. Give me the Eagles. Again, one of the hotter teams in the NFL right now. Give me Jalen Hurts and the Eagles over the Giants.
Yeah, the Giants did not look good against the Bucs last week, and the Eagles are playing much better. I also like the Eagles.
Next up, Falcons and Jags. Rich will pick them this week. No line here. I'm going to take Trevor Lawrence and the Falcons and the Jags at home. I think Trevor Lawrence is going to outplay Matt Ryan this week. So give me the Jags at home over the Falcons.
It's a tough one to pick. The Falcons looked awful last week. They got shut out, didn't they?
Something like that.
Yeah. So I'm going to actually take the Jags as well to win at home.
Next up in the game that nobody will watch, the Jets and Texans on Sunday.
This is battle for last place.
Give me Zach Wilson to get back on track. I think he's back off that injury this week. Give me Zach Wilson and the Jets to get it done on the road against the Texans.
I think only because the Texans are at home and they had that surprising win against the Titans, they got a little bit of mojo. I'm going to take the Texans in this one.
Next up, the Chargers and the Broncos. I'm going to take Justin Herbert and the Chargers here on the road. I think Herbert's been playing very well. So give me Justin Herbert and the Chargers to get it done on the road against the Broncos.
Again, two very incredibly up and down teams. I mean, the Broncos go in and beat Dallas on the road, but then they lose against a weak team at home. I'm going to take the Chargers in this one, but I don't feel that confident, honestly.
Next up, the Rams heading into Lambeau to take on the Pack. Give me Matt Stafford and the Rams to get back on track. 2 bad losses and a bye week in between. I'm going to take Matt Stafford and the Rams to get it done on the road against Green Bay.
If they were playing in LA, I like the Rams, but on the road, I like the Packers in this one.
Next up, the Vikings heading into San Francisco to take on the Niners. 2 potential playoff teams right here. Give me the Vikings.
Lovely.
Give me the Vikings on the road. I think the Vikings are a hotter team. They've had a lead in every single game they've had this year. They've had at least a touchdown lead in every single game they've had this year. So I'm going to go with the Vikings on the road against the Niners.
Niners are playing really good football the last 2 weeks. I think they continue that, and they win this one at home. Tough one, though.
Next up, the Cleveland Browns heading into Baltimore to take on the Ravens. I would love to know what's going on with Lamar Jackson right now, because if he was in, I would definitely take the Ravens. I think he'll play this week, so I'm going to go with Lamar Jackson and the Ravens at home over the Browns.
I agree with Scott. I think the Ravens only win if Lamar Jackson plays. I agree. I think he'll play. I have no inside information on that. But I will take Jackson and the Ravens.
Next on Monday Night Football, I might not watch this game because it's not going to be very good, as it'll be Russell Wilson and the Seahawks heading into Washington to take on the football team. Give me my upset of the week. Give me Washington. I think Taylor Heineke's been playing very well lately. The last 2 games, he's really impressed. Give me Washington at home over the Seahawks.
The Seahawks are in a downward spiral quickly, and so I also agree the Washington football team is going to get the win. And let me make one change. I just realized I think the Steelers are going to beat the Bengals. So, Terry Jewell, I apologize for what I said before. Give me the Steelers over the Bengals.
Whatever. And that'll do it for this episode of Scott Tweeting Sports today, ladies and gentlemen. I think I'm back by myself next week because my dad's back at work. And I'll be back here next week on Scott Tweeting Sports. See you later, guys.
Happy Thanksgiving, everybody.
Yeah.